And guys, I was proven right. So this is the video that I just linked to our wonderful new friend. Concord being the worst gaming failure in history. Shockingly, somehow, some way, it actually got worse. I didn't actually foresee this turn of events. I am usually not wrong about these things, but I just didn't realize I was going to be so correct. I made this video for a reason. I mean, we showcased some gameplay in here. We showcased the reasons why. We showcased what makes a hero shooter positive, what makes it negative, and so on and so forth. And what Concord did right and did not do right. And you'll quickly find, if you watch this video, I will link it below. It did very few things right and very many things incorrect. And as a result, it's dead. An important update regarding Concord. Oh my god, I was waking up for work today and I saw this, and I wanted to film it during the day, but you know, I had work, so I couldn't really do it. But man, I was flabbergasted. I was like, okay, yeah, I didn't expect 11 days. 11 days after the launch of the game, by the way. Keep in mind, this game came out 11 days ago. September 3rd, 2024 is the announcement of this, which is just yesterday, just this morning. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PS5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. If there was a spaceship actually called the North Star, I'm pretty sure the people who actually play Concord right now would not be able to fit on board the North Star. I don't think there's... I think the ship is too big, guys. I think the ship is too big for all the players. Let's see what the Steam numbers are at right now. Now, granted, there's going to be a little bit of a weighted down because the game is announced dead over the past 24 hours. So, but let's see. Let us see. 40 players. This is a 6v6 hero shooter. So that means right now, we can have a grand total of, at most, 3 games of Concord going on at the same time. That is it. You cannot have more than 3 games of Concord. And the writing was on the wall. Like, the peak was 11 days ago when the game first came out. 697, which is abysmal. We have estimates of how many units were sold. Let me see if I can pull that up. How many units of Concord were sold? I think we only have estimates because PlayStation doesn't release that number. But yeah, there we go. 25,000 copies. So 25,000 copies, $60. Sorry, $40 each. 60, I think, for the expanded edition. So let's just say, like an average of 42. I don't think that many people bought the expanded edition. So 42 times 25,000. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah, okay, yeah, I did. So that is $1 million, and the game was estimated on the low end to cost $100 million. That means at launch, which is the most profitable time for this game made Sony back 1/100th of their investment. 1/100th of their investment. That is crazy, man. We will be talking about this level of failure for the rest of like gaming. Like this is easily some of the worst numbers of any game ever. Okay, also, yeah, by the way, this is not, like, weighted heavily against PSN. PSN, so, Circa analyst Matt Priscilla told IGN, fewer than 0.2% of PS5 active players were logged into the game on Monday, August 26th. And that was, like, you know, the game launch. So, yeah, that is really bad. That is really, really bad. It's not even popular on the PlayStation Store or anything like that. It is popular on literally nothing. 100 million only was development cost, like stuff like marketing servers and so on, not included. It's all a good question, by the way, very good question. And also, Herakto, just to give you some background, I do work in business, so I do cover a lot of this stuff because I care about the business side of gaming. It affects gaming as a whole, and that's kind of like one of the unique things I can add towards the conversation in general. And I can tell you that when an estimate like this is given, it's usually both. Usually is both. Wireless God, yeah, exactly. Man, a housefly has a longer lifespan than this game did. True and real. And also, welcome to stream, buddy. We love to make new friends. What kind of games do you enjoy? You enjoy the good vibes. Drop a follow. Welcome to Corey Crew, buddy. Yeah, actually, wait. Let's see if this is true. The lifespan of a housefly. Oh my god. I knew it was, like, really short, but I did not know that it was 15 to 25 days. So yeah, actually, unironically, a housefly lives longer than Concord did. That is stunning, bro. That is, oh my god, that is so, oh, that's brutal. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. God, you can't make this up, man. You really can't make this up. Okay, Concord fans, let's go back to the discussion. How long can housefly live in a freezer? Asking for a friend. I think it's like seconds, something like that. Maybe like a couple of minutes. Short and well-known way of saying 1/100th. Latin percent. Oh yeah, exactly, Cinderlad. That's true. That is true. But yeah, Harato, going back to your question. The 100 million is just an estimate. So it very well could include the marketing cost. We don't have hard numbers because Sony doesn't want to release hard numbers, because then they would have to release to their shareholders and everything like that the level of failure. And anything that, you know, makes their number go down because they're a publicly traded company is something bad for them. So they don't want to make this information well known. So we have to basically scrounge for information. The estimate of 100 million, so the actual estimate is anything from 75 to 250 million total. That is total everything. So what all that includes with the marketing and so on and so forth, what percentage is what, we actually don't know. I will say that the marketing cost for this game probably wasn't very high, because this game was seen as a failure from the PlayStation Showcase onwards. And I think, and I do suspect, that this game was kind of just on life support from that moment forward. So yeah, I didn't see much marketing about this game, except for, like, you know, the PlayStation Showcase. And I think that was very, very inclusive of other platforms as well. I kind of live on the internet now, so, you know, with gaming sites and everything like that. So I really didn't see almost anything about Concord. I don't think their marketing budget was very high. So yeah, I think that maybe that was on purpose, maybe it wasn't, but either way, it definitely did not do any favors for the game. I think they definitely did not market it very heavily, so their marketing spend was not very high. But yeah, anyways, good question though. I really like that question. Okay. Therefore, this time, okay, however, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, I actually don't think any qualities of this game resonated with players, which is why we've had this issue and why we've had this game failure. Only saw fail memes? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we only saw the free fail memes, exactly. While many qualities of the game resonated with players, we also recognized that other aspects of the game and our initial launch did not land the way we intended. Therefore, at this time, we've decided to take the game offline, beginning September 6th, 2024, and explore options, including those that would be better to reach our players. Okay, couple of things about this. Unprecedented, first of all. Unprecedented is the word that comes to mind. And welcome, Artosh. I think that the other thing is striking, because if they just wanted to reach the players, they should have just DM'd them, man. Like, I don't know why they made this statement. Like, really, this statement is kind of just for the general public as a whole. They could have just DM'd the players. There's only 64 of them. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that would have been probably a better use of their time. I think the other important thing to note is that this statement is trying to imply that it's a shocker that the game is a failure. I don't think it is, because since the beta, since the trailer, since every single aspect of Concord was revealed to us, since any aspect of Concord was revealed to us, including that very, very first trailer where they were like, oh, it's a 6v6 hero shooter, and we're like, oh, God. It was very clear what our feedback was. And the game community as a whole, game players, people who are fan of games like Overwatch, other hero shooters, Marvel Rivals, so on. The list goes on and on. There's a lot of them nowadays. We had very specific things that we were worried about with this game, Concord. We had very specific things that we were hoping to see be differentiated in this game compared to others. And none of that happened. We gave feedback. We gave respectful feedback. And I know this because I gave respectful feedback. And I know a lot of other creators did. We've watched some of the other ones. We've watched Luke Stevens. We've watched a little bit of Bellular and so on and so forth. And like, dude, I'm not talking about, like, people who are negative and just shitting on games all the time. No, I'm talking about, like, actual feedback, which was the vast majority of the feedback. No one wants to see a game like this fail. We would rather see it succeed and actually be a good game. And we were very, correctly worried that there was nothing differentiating this game and a lot of big worry points for this game. Shocker, we were right. So yeah, I think it's sad that they're still acting like it's some, like, big shocker for them. It shouldn't be. It was very clear why this failed. As we determine the path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game on PS5 or PC. Okay, direct refund will be issued back to original payment method. Okay, so this is, by the way, an unironic W. I wish more game companies would do this. This is a very, very positive step. Like, we can shit on Concord all you want, and don't worry, I have and I will. But the fact that PlayStation is issuing a full refund no matter what for both the base edition and the expanded editions and so on and so forth is just W. This is actually just a good thing. Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very good thing. Not always happens, by the way. It does not always happen. So this is an unironic W. I can't talk. Customers are purchased from other digital storefronts will also be refunded, and there's information about it below. Steam Store will be refunded over the next coming days, including confirmation from Steam itself. And Epic Games, same thing. Other retailers it'll be a complicated situation. That's it. That's their statement. That's their statement. I was memeing they could have just DM'd their players, but it is kind of true. Yeah, okay, you know what's also striking, guys? I put this up because I want to talk about it later, but we can actually start right now. I thought we had seen the worst live service flop of 2024 with Suicide Squad, Killed the Justice League. And that was from earlier this year. This is not the worst game of this year anymore. I am just stunned that we found something worse. That's the crazy part for me, man. That's the crazy part for me. Yeah, it's Astrobot. Hey, Astrobot is a single-player game. It'll unironically be better. Aged like milk. Yeah, my milk in my fridge lasted longer than this game. Yeah, I think it's very, very, very interesting, the reasons that this game failed. The $40 price tag for this game, for Concord, is a big reason this game failed. It is actually stunning the level of ego that Sony has. Sony has screwed up pretty much every single possible live service game that they've had, either in the development stage or in the implementation stage or after the implementation. Look at Helldivers 2. In Helldivers 2, Sony had the golden egg, the goose that laid the golden egg, and they had the golden egg as well. And they still mucked that up. And we've seen, worse numbers for Helldivers 2 in the past, it just keeps going down. And they've essentially mucked that entire situation up, especially with the big downturn starting with the PSN network debacle, which I covered very, very in depth. I think that Sony needs to stop doing live service games, guys. Each one of these failures costs Sony like straight up $100 million plus. It's actually worrying for Sony as a whole. I think the developers for this game, Doc was saying, and I agree with this statement, like, the developers for this game, the people who worked on the animations, the music for this game, the combat of this game, which mostly, except for the fact that it's really slow, was not like bad. Like the mechanics of this game is not like, really, really that bad. I think it's very stunning that those people will also get fired. That does suck. Like that really, really does suck. This is a brand new studio that made this game. And just due to the higher ups having an incorrect direction for the game, which is really like this is a prime example of a bad direction completely screwing over the implementation of a game. And shitty updates. Zaddy, this game didn't live long enough for any updates. Like there was no update to the game. Oh, do you mean Helldivers? Yeah. Helldivers was shitty updates. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the PlayStation account was like the big start to the downturn. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Steam players to yeah. Basically, so going back to it, I will go back to our real conversation. But as an aside, since you guys are asking about it, one of the big things that happened with the PlayStation Network debacle was not only was it the first major, like, huge negative feedback for a mostly positive game, it, like, dropped Steam ratings from mostly positive or like very positive all the way down to mostly negative in the span of like 3 days. It was unprecedented and absolutely crazy. Not only was it that, it also basically barred 180 different countries and regions of the world from being able to buy and play the game. Now, later on, the people who bought the game previously regained access, but you could no longer get new players in a live service game for what is it, like 80% of the fucking world. So, like, that's Sony just shooting themselves in the fucking ass. This was a requirement that they never needed, and we had Helldivers live with, like, what is it, like 8 months, 7 months, 6 months, something like that? No, I think at the time it was actually 4 months. Whatever. We had it live for 4 months without any requirement for the PlayStation Network. So it didn't need it. This was an arbitrary requirement by PlayStation. And because of that executive decision, it was some fucking cheeseball, some fucking bean counter who has no idea how games work, doesn't give a shit about gamers, only cares about, like, line going up or his fucking middle management piece of shit job or whatever. It was only that one fucker who basically ruined the entire Helldivers game and really started the downturn. And the long-term ramifications of having no person from 180 countries and regions being able to join, get the game and stuff, made sure the game will never grow again. The upswing would never happen. Because every game will lose players. Every game will, like, bleed players, no matter what game it is. World of Warcraft, Diablo, very few games are games that will continuously grow without, like, crazy fucking good updates all the time. The Path of Exile was, like, in my head because it's an example of one of those games that actually does grow. It is because of, like, it's a once-in-a-generation kind of, like, game company. Grinding Gear Games does a great job with that game. It is a very rare thing. Most games bleed players. So if you stop the potential pool of players, of new players coming into the game, you'll bleed the players faster. It's just math. The math just ain't mathin' for making a game like that successful. And, maybe the PSN requirement is one reason that all of their fucking live service games fails for Sony. Maybe they should look into that. I will say, this is the other problem that the release and the issues with Concord has highlighted. That of gaming journalism. Gaming journalism was desperately trying to keep this game alive. And Matt Kim is an example of this. Just someone completely missing the mark. This is games journalism as a whole nowadays with a lot of different events. But Concord's, failure, abject failure from development all the way through their betas and everything like that. Games journalism, basically, I want you to know, enabled this failure. Where they could have been proper, actually doing proper games journalism, discussing the problems with the game and, trying to move it forward, they decided to pander to Sony and essentially what amounts to enable a complete and abject failure, the size and breadth of which has never been seen in gaming ever in the entire world, in my opinion. I don't think we've ever seen a gaming failure of this level. Like I said, estimated $100 to $250 million of investment by Sony. 8 years to make. And then a week and a half and it's dead. 11 days. 11 days exactly. We've never seen that. And Matt Kim is an example of gaming journalism where, who does he work for? IGN, I think? Yeah, he works for IGN. And his entire issue is, great system we've got. Essentially blaming the system of game making, as opposed to blaming the fact, which deserves it, proper feedback given by people, given by gamers, given by content creators, given by people who care about games like this, people who play other hero shooters, people who played the beta and had serious issues in the beta and the development of the game and so on and so forth. And how the game makers of Concord did not listen to a single one. It's not like the characters' identities and looks and such changed from the intro several months ago, a game release, and we got blindsided, and that's why the game was failure. No, we knew this fucking 5 months ago. We knew that all the character designs looked like shit. We knew that we didn't want to play this character, or actually this character was alright, or this character, or this character. We knew that from the very beginning. We knew that out of the 16 characters, only 2 looked remotely interesting. That they looked pretty, that they looked interesting, that they looked vibrant, that they looked like the actual characters. The other, 14 of them looked like fucking trash. That was a huge problem with the game. We knew that, and we were very vocal about hero shooters being one of the most overfull game genres right now in the market. And every single one of these hero shooters in the game genre that is in existence, like Overwatch 2 or, Marvel Rivals is upcoming, or, in terms of a cooperative one, Helldivers, there's cooperative and competitive hero shooters that are all over the market, and they all have battle passes, they all have FOMO, they all have this, they all have that, they all have, big reasons of why to make it your main game. The market is too saturated. And we stated that from the beginning. We were excited for single-player modes. We were excited when we thought this game was Guardians of the Galaxy. As soon as it was announced that it was a hero shooter, we were all deflated. If these game makers wanted their game to succeed, and were serious about it, and Sony execs were, they would have listened to what we were fucking saying. We weren't saying it to shit on the game. We were saying it because we actually liked the vibe of the trailer. And we wanted that game. The game that trailer was showing. Not the fucking hero shooter trash that they were trying to throw on us. Just try to milk us out of money. It's absolutely crazy. And Doc reminded me just now, we were talking about the people that are going to lose their jobs. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this kind of dovetails back into that. What is really sad here is that Concord has talented devs. The sound design of the game is really good. The animations of the game are actually very good. That first animation was the best part of the game. Way before we knew it was a hero shooter, when we thought it was a Guardians of the Galaxy style, what we thought was a heist game or whatever, what we were hoping for, it looked good. However, that's not what the game was. And that is a problem with game direction. Talented devs, and a lot of them, are going to lose their jobs from this debacle. Mark my words. You think that Sony is not going to have heads roll? Absolutely they are. Dude, they are sharpening the butcher's knife as we speak, man. They have the grindstone going. They're just looking at the Concord devs. This, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it, man. If I was working on Concord way back when the beta numbers were at what was it, just a couple of thousand, I would have started looking for another job. It's just the writing is on the wall. And we all know what's going to happen. And also, really a lot of these journalists are missing the point. And apparently Matt Kim's article, I haven't read it yet because, frankly, Matt Kim is not a really good writer, in my opinion. And he's also a very pissy human being, of which, if you look at this post, you'll see. He basically snarkily replies to everyone. He's like, I'm going to need you to read the article before replying to me. I have only so many reaction GIFs and memes and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, we're taking exception to what you're writing about because you're talking about the system here, acting like it's our fucking fault. Like this, it's stupid. That is what this statement says. 8 years to make, week and a half to succeed, great system we've got. It's not our fucking fault this game failed. It is your fucking fault this game failed. It is the fault of game journalism that they did not listen, that they basically spent the entire time enabling the bad behavior of Sony execs. It is Sony execs' fault for mostly for creating the direction of this game that no one wanted. So the fact that games journalism idiot, one of the pinnacle examples of a fucking idiot in the games journalism world, is trying to blame the game systems, the people that play games and so on and so forth, is idiotic. Yeah, exactly. Darkshade just said, quote, gamers just don't know what's good for them. They're also racist and sexist. Yeah, that's what people imply. That's what a lot of these people imply. And it is so stupid. Award-winning journalist, my ass. His tagline is award-winning journalist. I don't know what award he won. I don't know what article is for. But I left a comment that I thought was pretty, at least on the nose, and gives my... I'll just read it out. This is rather reductive. Feedback was given in the earliest betas, even all the way far back as the PlayStation Showcase. None of it was actioned upon. That's the issue here. That is the issue here. And games journalists will... And you can... By the way, Matt Kim is not just the only example of this. It is pretty much every single fucking game journalist company. Now, I'm talking about IGN. I'm talking about GameSpot. I'm talking about PC Gamer. I'm talking about all of them. And this is the problem with having like 60% of game journalism owned by the same overall umbrella company. They all say the same shit. And they're all just worried about, you know, Sony not wanting them to cover their next game or whatever. That's what they're worried about. That's one reason that they gave nothing but glowing positive reviews, 7 out of 10s and everything like that, as opposed to talking about the reality of the fucking trash games that they're playing. Yeah, the delusion is real. Exactly. And he's getting ratioed, and he just doesn't give a shit. You know why? Just like the Sony execs, games journalists have the same fucking ego. I know better than you do. It's striking. It's absolutely idiotic. It's absolutely idiotic. Your comment scares him? Yes, my comment scares him. Exactly. You know why? Because I was respectful. I didn't make fun of him. I didn't call him names. I just stated my facts clearly and completely, and I completely destroyed his argument at the same time. That is why. Games journalists hate this one trick. That's what it is. Don't be mean to them. Just clearly explain factually what they did incorrectly. And they're journalists. They should know how to deal in facts, right? Guess what? Most of them fucking don't. Most of them really just don't. But yeah, anyways, is there any other information? I don't really think so. This is an unprecedented disaster. 1/100th. This is the generous estimate of the money they made on the game. And this will all be returned. They're going to be returning the money as a tax purpose, by the way. The reason that they decided to kill the game 11 days in, by the way, I want you guys to know, this is a little known trick. And by little known, I mean every fucking company does this. So it's really not little known. It is extremely well known. But as you guys probably or might not have a background in business, I do. I am telling you what is going on. That's one reason I hope you guys like these videos, because I try to give my little unique background, little shine a little light from a unique background onto what is going on in the games industry. When a game fails like this for a game company that is large and publicly traded, like Sony, like, we've seen these things with Square Enix, we've seen this type of thing with EA and Ubisoft and so on and so forth, they basically kill a game as soon as they possibly can. And in order to have the largest possible tax write-off that they possibly can. That they're basically using it as a tax sink. That is what it is. And that's why they're doing it. That's why they didn't give it more time. That's why Sony execs didn't actually try to fucking fix the game. They just decided to kill the game instead. instead of listening to feedback. And my thoughts, guys, one reason that the feedback was not listened to in beta onwards is because they knew the game was going to be a failure. So they decided to just cut development from it all the way back in the beta. They probably cut the funding from the beta onwards. Like, not completely, but they probably, like, lowered the amount of funding in order to prepare for the heat death of the game, heat death of the universe, you know, of the game. And you know, just preparing to write it off as a tax liability. And that way they can make far more money from the tax liability of the failed game than they can from the actual game. And this is also illustrative of a huge problem in the games industry in general. A lot of times, AAA companies will release a piece of shit game like this because they're just going to get the tax write-off instead of actually wanting to produce a good fucking game. Another reason to go indie. Indie companies don't really do this because they're so small, they have to make it or break it in one game. So they make sure it's fucking good. And they make sure it's really what they want to get across, and so on and so forth. This is one of the really striking examples of the dichotomy between the thought processes and the motivations behind extremely large game companies that are publicly traded and ones that are not. Ones that are smaller, ones that are indie, ones that are, you know, so on and so forth. Not owned by a giant publicly traded conglomerate of bullshit like Sony is. Yeah. But anyways, that's my little diatribe. Let's see some of the comments. Doc says it's the same way Stellar Blade was almost changed because of outcries on Twitter from people who were never going to play their game, and a lot of companies cave into some of those people. That is true, Doc. Actually, that is completely true. I always respect when a game company says, fuck you, no, this is what my game is about. Actually, we can cover a little bit of that. I don't know if we can do that tonight. It is 5 a.m. and my throat is like dying. But there is an indie game right now that is dealing with that exact issue. And, yeah, you know, maybe, should we cover it? I think we should cover it. I think we should cover it on launch like Daikatana. I actually know what that game is, Oculation. I've played Daikatana. I have actually unironically played that game. But anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts on the process. That's my thoughts on the entire Concord situation. The game is dead. Dead as a doornail. Ding dong, the bitch is dead. It is, it's deserved. I'm sorry. It is deserved. It's not deserved for the talented devs. It does suck that those really actually talented devs that created good animation, good sound design, some very, very good mechanics, and nothing that stands out, but at least mechanically very sound, good mechanics of the game, of the shooting, of this, of that, they're going to lose their jobs. And they're going to have to find another company, or maybe a lot of them will actually probably leave the games industry as a whole. Because working for this shit for 8 years, seeing 8 years of your life get thrown down the drain over bullshit about executives and stuff and the terrible direction of the game feels bad, man. I can't even imagine how those devs feel. The ones that are actually talented, the ones that aren't fucking shills and everything. Like, I cannot even imagine how they feel. And that does suck. That is the tragedy of this. But granted, I will cover this. I will cover the good news and the bad news always. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys did like the video, what do you guys think? In the comments below, why do you think Concord failed? Do you think my ideas on why it did or didn't succeed is proper? Do you think it's good information? Let me know in the comments below what you vibe with, what you agree with, what you disagree with. I listen to and respond to every single comment on my YouTube videos. So definitely leave one. And hopefully we'll catch you in the next video. If you like this type of content, I cover the good news and the bad news and everything in between, and always give you my authentic take. So make sure to give the channel a sub if you want more of it. Hell yeah. There we go. See you in the next video, guys.